dialed in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
And brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Nick, 2 weeks in a row. Holy fucking shit.
Looks like we made it.
What are you drinking, my friend? Before I hear about what you're drinking.
So, hey, guys, as always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We appreciate the growth and what's happening with us. Still haven't released yet what we're getting sponsored, but we are officially sponsored by a company.
Did reach out to him today to say, hey, haven't gotten the product yet.
Yep.
Just kind of waiting on you. So we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
What are you drinking, my friend?
I'm sponsored by you again.
Yes, you are.
I appreciate it because hey, coaching season's always a rough one. We had to push this one back just a little bit later because, hey, my kids come first. But I am drinking Garage Beer from I think that's what they are. They're just Garage Beer. Again, it's one of the Kelsey brothers, or maybe both of them.
Both of them, I believe.
So, and I really enjoy this classic light one.
I did not bring you lime because
Yeah.
I knew you didn't like lime as much.
Say this one is so much better. What do you got?
So I have some fun stuff tonight. I do have a garage beer.
Yeah.
But I have some fun stuff that I found a little bit ago from Urban Artifact. I have Cappy Snacks. Two
Okay.
different Cappy Snacks. Cappy Bears,
Okay.
I have they're both fruit ales, a Cincinnati black raspberry and a fruit punch.
Okay. That's
So
right
I'm
up your alley.
really excited to try these. And then, of course, I have the garage beer. We'll bullshit for a little bit in a minute here. First, it's guest night.
It is. We love guest
We
night.
do love guest night. We have Nick on. Nick is an aspiring entrepreneur. Nick, are you drinking anything, my friend?
Absolutely. I've got a main microbrew here. It's called Tubular.
Nice.
I kind of like the color of it. It kind of reminds me of the 90s, I don't know
yeah.
remember quite where, but, it kind of drew me into there a couple years ago, and it's an IPA rating about 7.2%. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Nick loves IPAs.
I like beer, to say.
I like beer too. I do not like IPAs.
Tubular. From, you said Maine Brewing?
Oh, yeah. It's Orono Brewing. Yep, right up outside of Bangor.
I'm going to see if I can't find one. So, it's great to have you on. Real quick, David, let them know how I found him.
We were on TikTok one day and Nick tagged me and said, hey, talk to this guy. Let's get him on. What do you think of that?
That's actually, it's decent.
I really enjoyed that. And a nice raspberry taste.
Kind of tastes a little like a sour.
A little bit like a sour, but not too sour for me.
Yeah. So, right. Scrolling through TikTok and,
Oh, yeah, I got free tequila today.
hell yeah, that's a great day. We're going to be sponsored by that eventually.
Somebody, one of our pickups, Nick, you don't know, but my wife owns a rage room here in Grand Rapids called Break Room Therapy.
Nice.
And during our pickups today of empty liquor bottles, one of the bartenders put 2 full tequila bottles in, and it's on par with like Cuervo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, it'll go good in margaritas.
Yeah.
So I'll be making margaritas at some point.
I'm excited. Yeah, so scrolling through,
Yep.
guy, hey everybody, I'm starting a new thing. Today's day one. Want to become an entrepreneur, want to do this, and all right, this seems good. Day two, like day two, hey, just reaching out. David,
You were so excited that when you tagged me in it, you didn't even give me like 30 minutes and I'd already reached out and you're like, dude, I tagged you on TikTok. You need to get on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, I've got it under control. I've already reached out. And you're like, all right.
yeah, you're better than me. I just want to make sure I'm doing my part of nothing.
Of nothing.
So, but yeah, so Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're looking to do.
Born and raised in the coast of Maine here, mid-coast Maine. I'm actually in a seasonal rental at the moment in Camden, Maine. It's a beautiful area up here. The weather fucking sucks, but what are you gonna do? I've done just about everything when it comes to the construction world, my whole life, and I'm tired of it. And I ever since I was a kid, I can remember just always coming up with these crazy fucking ideas, you know what I mean? To make something a little bit better, do something a little bit better, something like that. But I've never taken action with anything like this, and up until a couple of months ago, we were living off grid actually, and that's why we had to move into an off season. The people that owned the property decided to do some clear cutting, so it made our access to our a little cabin that we built in the middle of nowhere, off inaccessible. So
Yep.
just really thinking, you know what I mean? I've been putting all my time and energy into this, you know what I mean? When I should be putting more time and energy into building something better for my family. You know what I mean? I've got 3 kids, I've got a fiance, and just the Monday through Friday, the 9 to 5,
Yep.
Right now, I'm working as a maintenance man for an assisted living facility. I mean, it's just like it sounds. You know what I mean? I'm changing light bulbs. I'm fixing walkers, stuff like that. But I mean, I've got a lot of time to just sit and actually think about things. And I've started writing shit down. Anything I've seen online. Just start writing stuff down. Just it doesn't have to make sense now, but it will eventually.
Yep.
So I write shit down.
So I saw TikTok today that you actually started a t-shirt company.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So back, right around 2021, my family we actually moved out of Maine. I sold everything, sold my house, everything, moved to the Orlando area and tried starting this t-shirt printing business. I was trying to make it just strictly online. Realized real quick, you know what I mean? I'm a fucking guppy in a shark pool, so it's I was very minuscule, so I started to downsize my thoughts, basically just downsize to the point where it just all just kind of fell apart. I had no mentorship, I had no guidance, I had nobody that even could remotely look at my situation and see how I saw this turning out,
Mhm.
and yeah, and I just kind of needed to get back to work and back to the 40-hour grind, and I just kind of let that all take way. But I by the end of it, I had niched down to where I wanted to start an ice fishing brand. And that's where you see these t-shirts, these designs and everything, they're based around ice fishing in one way or another. I know it's a small percentage of people, the northern part of the hemisphere, you can't get
Yep.
into the spot, but um so yeah, that was that part.
Well, and it's interesting because the man sitting next to me has a t-shirt company.
I do. So, yeah. Yep. I started one quite a few years before you. I got
It's
into
made you millions.
No, not at all. God, no. I got into it I got into it way different than you did. I mean, I heard some of the figures, right? You lost about 60K.
Oh yeah, about $60,000 I lost that, buying the equipment, and I've got a stockpile of a I'll tell you, it's funny because I didn't do any of my research like I was supposed to do before. You know what I mean? I had this lump of cash, and I was
Yep.
just ready to go all in. And I mean, I made more mistakes at the beginning than I could even try to get myself out of the hole. I mean, there was no coming back from it at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I'm a big guy, so my first idea was to focus on like the safety greens and the safety oranges that you see these construction guys, but just for big guys. You know what I mean? I was
Oh
focused on
yeah.
3X, 4X, 5X. I spent $10,000 just shirts that are sitting in a friggin' storage locker of mine right now. But I have nothing to do with them. I have nowhere to put them.
Yep.
The thought of donating it, you know what I mean, to a good cause. But it's like, who the hell am I going to donate these size shirts to?
To me, bro, to me, I'll get rid of them.
Hey,
That's
I'll
what you wear a plus size shirt, do you not?
I absolutely do.
I wear a 4X myself.
Hey, I'll send you guys a whole pile of fucking hoodies and shit, man. I got a load of shit.
Well, that's I say I started mine, and honestly, that's big dog. I don't know how old are you, Nick?
41.
Okay, so a little bit older
Right
than me.
between us.
Yeah, I say. So you were around when big dog shirts were a big thing, right? I mean,
I've had a couple.
yeah. I say they were. It was proud, and so like looking up to these guys.
I used to always get boxers from them.
Yeah,
Always.
So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to start a big guy company too. And it was like that's what I want to specialize in because you can't find fun shirts in our size and things. And
No, fuck no, man.
I realized, there's not enough of. Again, you're a small minnow in a big pound. Big shirts they're already taken, and somebody's already gotten that idea. So hey, now if a big guy needs, I just want to offer every quality of shirt, right? And so, kind of what I found was my quick niche was softball team, for
Yeah.
rec league type thing, guys that wanted 15 shirts for all the people on their team. And I was like, that's how I paid for my first thing. I got my first order. Because my buddy's like, man, nobody's gonna put the word shit on a shirt and blah blah blah. And I was like, well, let me look into this. And so he was like, hey, you guys willing to pay $28 a piece? And he's like, yep, absolutely. And so, I sold when I bought my machine cutter and all that because I do vinyl versus ink, and I sold car decals and things like that. And then I was like, oh, into the shirts, and I just magically got lucky with that. And you start researching and researching, but I say I was I was out of the red within the first week,
Oh
and
shit.
but again, I only spent like $600 to start my company,
Right.
right? You know,
Well,
you
I went
you
out. I bought, the DTG, the electric printer. You know what I
yep,
mean? Like your house printer. I mean,
yep,
I I was living in a two-bedroom apartment in Orlando, and that's where my printer was. That's where all my shirts on a couple of shelves were.
yep,
So we didn't have a living room. It was my office.
yep. Well, and that was one thing I told my. Granted, I just found out that I have a bunch of extra shirts for some reason. I don't know why I have them. It's not nowhere near as much as you. I probably have 12 extra shirts, right? Um, I don't know why I have. They're all like a lighter blue than this, and now
That's gray.
it's gray, but like this has like a bluish tinge, I guess. But
Okay.
and so it was like I don't know how the hell I ended up with these and what happened, and but so anyway, I made sure I didn't go into debt. I wouldn't take on debt for my small business startup. I think at the peak I was making about $40,000 a year, but I was working, a full-time 40-hour week, granted I was working 50, 60 hours doing that, 40 hours a week plus, I mean, I didn't have any kids or anything at the time. And, plus I was doing my real estate and it was like, all right, so I had to make a choice in my life of like, all right, which one makes me happy? Which one do I see for the future and things like that? And so kind of stepping back. And so I chose real estate in my day job. And I still had the t-shirt company. My daughter, when she was born, every onesie was custom made. So then, of course, right, that started the idea of, well, I'm going to be a fucking custom onesie maker.
Yeah.
And so um, it just went well, right? And a lot of my stuff comes off of Facebook. Orders I just share it out with people, and
Yep.
say when
When
I
people ask, they're like, "Hey, who makes T-shirts?" And you or your friends are like, "Oh, this guy will do some for you."
yep, yep,
Because a
and
lot of people need those one-offs. I need 5 shirts that look like this.
yep, and one thing I promised myself, and I've stuck to it for the most part. You always have that little one-off, but if somebody wants 12 shirts, my let's just call it my base price is $20 a shirt, right? Um, if you're a small business and I really like you, sure, I'll give you the discount. Hey, great. You know what? We'll do them for $17 a shirt. I'm happy to make them. You'll have them within the day type of a thing. And you get the people, well, this person's going to do it for 16.50. Well, good. Take your ass for 50 cents and go buy it from them. Like, I don't know why you're shopping me, but like, I promised myself if somebody haggled that type of a thing, like, right. If I come in and give you a discount right away, like, hey, you're a small business, you're getting started out, I can do them for this. Here's my normal price. This is what this is what I can do it to help you out. And you haggle with me, I'm just like, piss off, right? And so I've told myself that was the number one thing. I wasn't going to chase, right? I wasn't chasing customers. I was a one-man operation. I wanted to have fun with it.
Well,
And
that's what it was. It was having fun with it.
but it got, I got to a point where I had to expand or close up, right? I mean, I couldn't keep doing it. I mean, I could, but it wasn't going to make a life I wanted. And, I didn't want to find an employee. I had other things going. So, but 60,000, I mean, you bought that many extra shirts, you bought the DTG, you bought all the,
Well, it wasn't just that, it was all the different programs out there that you know what I mean. And then I hired a virtual assistant from the Philippines.
yeah, $3 an hour.
I went to a conference in Atlantic City for just nothing but apparel printing, and
Yep.
I mean, I really was, I mean, it was like going back to school for me. You know what I mean? The nameless hours of just YouTube watching and
Oh,
just
yeah.
research, and I mean, just trying to figure this all out. I was like a squirrel with a nut. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I see a nut, and I'm like, oh, that's over there, and oh shit, it's over there. And oh shit, it's over there. And
Do
I
you
could there was no direction for me, you know.
do you still own all the stuff?
No, no,
Okay,
just the shirts.
just
Yep,
the
just the
shirts.
shirts. On
Man,
the heat press. You know, I got the heat press still.
okay. Yeah, I
So, you
say.
know, that's the start of any successful print shop right there. And that's what I should have done in the first start was
Yep.
like you start with vinyl
Yep.
or, you know, vinyl screen prints
Yep.
and, you know, just start with that, you know. I
No,
lessons learned, right?
that's I say
Lessons learned.
right now is the time you can make your money back. I mean, right? Everybody wants that customer. Um, and for some reason I follow death quite often. I tell you, like, right, I buy real estate from people who've passed away, and so I buy the house that the people don't want anymore. But also, like, in my t-shirts, everybody I constantly, can you put this face of, RIP this person? And I was like, no, but I can make you a bumper sticker, but I can get you the shirts made. And so, sourcing out those things was always my big thing.
Yep.
Um, hey, and I, call up somebody and be like, hey, this person needs this, throw on my $1 a shirt fee. And great. I just get a little kickback for sending them, 20
Yep.
shirts. But no, you definitely did it big. So, um, I'm headed out to the East Coast right after Christmas, so maybe I'll swing in and pick up a case or 12 of shirts from you. So, um, but so all right, what do you look into? All right, actually, I want to kind of change a little bit.
Uh-huh.
On TikTok as well. You met a mentor program group thing, and you met up with a guy today. You talked some ideas.
Yep.
What
Yep.
is this? What is this program? Walk me through a little bit of it, if you wouldn't mind.
So it's a company called Score. My mom actually is the one that introduced it to me a few years ago, and they're countrywide. And what it is, it's just from what I've kind of figured, and it's retired, entrepreneurs, business owners. The fellow that I was talking to today had a strong suit in finances, and he had, kind of more, and then a little bit into like manufacturing. But I was just looking to reach out to somebody, like basically kind of like what I'm doing right now with you guys, you know what I mean? And just talk a little bit, I don't have anybody in my world that will sit down and actually unbiasedly, you know what I mean,
Yep.
talk to me about starting a business because everybody I know, they've been doing construction, they've been, doing whatever in that type of trade. And then, they just kind of eventually start their own business, because they've
Yep.
been 20 years.
Yep. And that's
I unfortunately have kind of bounced around a little bit with my life. You know what I mean? I fucking partied my ass off in my 20s. I was in a car accident when I was 24 years old, and that was like, a 5-year stint of just reconstructive surgeries for my ankle and everything.
oh man.
Um, hence why, you know what I mean, doing the construction world is just, not suiting my as I get older, the arthritis is built up. I've got screws broken off inside of my tibia that are just sitting there resting. And so I mean it's been a long time, but
I mean, I'm not in the construction world, but I am, right. So I do real estate. I flip things. I do stuff.
yep.
Now I guess because you don't want to swing a hammer anymore, from what it sounds like. I mean, have you thought about starting, like a GC company is what I'm going to call it, right? So you go find jobs, you start bidding them out, and finding the employees to just go do the work. So that way you're not swinging that, you become the desk person, right? And you're the one getting
Yep.
the jobs and the leads.
Yep.
You haven't thought about doing something like that?
I have, but just the my mindset is kind of different than that. If I can say, the way I don't know, the way I think, I'm looking for something. Obviously, everybody needs buildings, everybody needs all that construction work, stuff like that.
Yep.
I want to just try something different.
Okay.
That's why the t-shirt thing was such a big thing for me. You know what I mean? Because it was something that I've never thought about doing. I had the thought of, starting a big guy thing, but I had no idea of what direction to go.
Sure.
So, it just kind of dwindled down from there. I mean, I had a website made up and everything. The company was going to be called Stout. Stout is a good name. You know what I mean? You could have fucking beer and big dudes, and
Yep. You did you ever get the company off the ground?
I mean, it's for a little bit, a little while, and then I just shut it all down. I just, you know what I mean? There was no money coming in. any money that was coming in, I was sending it all, it was all people from Maine. I was living down in Florida at the time, and everything was coming in from Maine, people that I knew.
Yep.
So it's like, there was no brick and mortar. Like I said, I was all out of my apartment, so I was just lost, I guess is the best way to say it. I had no guidance whatsoever on, somebody to tell me what to do,
Yep.
or not tell me what to do, but to explain it to me, you know what I mean? To help me understand the process a little bit better, So the past 3-4 years now have just been nothing but me just involving and evolving, around the business idea and what marketing is and what, all these different avenues that comes into starting a business, really, so I'll tell you, one of my biggest ideas I've got right now, and I'll pitch it to you guys right now. Think about your spice cabinet at home. All right. Think about your spice cabinet. Okay. And you see, you watch TikTok, Facebook, whatever. You got your Danos, you got your slap your mamas and all that stuff, right? So my idea is, think about all them spices in your cabinet. You know what I mean? Half of them are sitting in the back because you don't use them. They're expired. My kids, they take them out when they're expired and they make freaking little concoctions with them and everything. So I'm trying to alleviate that idea. Okay. I was just sitting back one day, sitting down at the table. My fiance opened up the door and I'm like, God damn, that fucking spice cabinet is a wreck again. We just cleaned that up.
Yep.
What about single serving spices? You know what I mean? Kind of like a salt packet idea, but any spice that you can think of is in a single serving, like tablespoon size. You know what I mean? And then you can just have little packs of 10, you know what I mean? All high-end ingredients, it just goes on and on and on that I could just really spill into this, you know what I mean? Because I put a lot of thought into it, but it's just, what a way to, help with the environment, with the plastic bottle situation. Think about all the hundreds of thousands of bottles of these are ending up at the landfill every year. And, I'm on the coast of Maine, you know what I mean? So, the lobster industry is huge here, seafood, all that shit. So, potatoes. I don't know. I just got some crazy ideas, and I just want to kind of bring it up to people, you know what I mean? And see what people have to say about it.
I would think something like that, you'd want to try to patent some kind of
Packaging.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
If you could patent a packaging, at that point you take it to like McCormick, let's say.
Right.
And say, hey, I have this idea to put your spices in, chili powder, cayenne pepper, whatever.
Yep.
But they're in a single serving that way, for single people or, maybe families that have different palates that they have to take care of, whatever. So they don't have all of this waste because let's face it, I have like 9 different chili powders because I make chili a lot. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to try this one. And then I end up with 6 different chili powders in one pot of chili.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And think of like, I always go to this specific one. Like think of like the Ortega taco mix. You know what I mean? The pre-mixed packages. You know what I mean? I'll be honest. I like salt, but I don't like how that makes my tacos. You know what I mean? But I like all the other seasons that go with it. So you can literally, you can have the Ortega mix. You know what I mean? But it's individualized. So hey, little Johnny's allergic to garlic. You know what I mean? We're gonna hold garlic powder out of this. You know what I mean? But still use the rest of the ingredients. Kind of an idea. Same idea, like you said, the single person, the single couple, the millennial couples that are, you know what I mean? They see the TikTok trend, whatever's cooking on TikTok or Facebook, and they want to try it, but they don't want to go and spend the $70-$80 it's going to cost just for the fucking spices. You know what I mean? When you can go buy a packet for 50-75 cents, and then just chuck the damn thing. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, you don't like it.
You're gonna have to get that's the thing. You're gonna have to get approval from each individual company, figure out their type of a thing. I think really, repackaging and just smaller things would be. It's not a horrible idea. It's just gonna take a lot of thoughts and business
a lot of legwork. You know what I mean?
The packaging is the money there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because if you can figure out the package and get a patent on the packaging, that's where you make your money.
Yep.
Wait, so you want me to tell you my little bit of packaging that I got planned already?
Sure.
So I'm thinking like you got like a tea box. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Tea box. You open it up. There's literally a periodic table inside of all the different spices. Then you pull each package out. Whatever the spice is, and it has like the country of origin. You know what I mean? It could have a little tale of the farmer that's actually producing, growing this stuff in South America or Asia. You know what I mean? Where these spices are coming from. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just a
No,
weird
and
thing. You know what I mean? It just popped in my head one day, and I just kind of ran with it.
yeah,
So
I think if you do it like oh, what is Jeremiah doing right now? Like the
Uh,
advent calendar thing.
yeah, and
So right, I mean,
yeah.
you get like 2 ounce servings of each, so you could do glass bottles too. I think that'd be um because that's recyclable. But right,
No, it's not.
glass.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, anyway, so right, some type of
Sometimes glass is recyclable, but like here, it's not.
yeah. So, but some type of packaging that would, and so then, yeah, like as you said, hey, if I want to make taco mix, now I have it. All right, grab this, and then the person's allergic to salt or garlic or whatever it might be.
yep,
You
yep,
just keep that one out, but now you get to
yep,
make your own. You get to make your own seasoning
yep.
with individual things, and then you get to play around with different flavors.
Well,
So,
and I gotta assume there'd be a lot of like home chefs
yeah.
that would love that.
Oh gosh, yes. Right. I mean, I want to make a small batch of something.
Yeah, like I hate cooking. I love cooking chili, but that's the only
Yeah.
thing I'll cook. I don't want to fucking cook.
Right.
And my wife's good at cooking, so I don't.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
so I don't like I'll buy shit.
so it sounds like Score is doing pretty good. It sounds like it's we have in our area, and I'm not sure if you do. Do you have a small business association out there?
I think so. Maine does. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maine's big on their small business associations, man. You
Right.
know what? That's what this state relies on mostly. So
That's where you're going to want to get connected.
yeah,
That's the best advice I'm going to give you today, right now. Besides, Score seems great, but being able to interact with a person, usually it's the same type of a person there, right? Except for you get to meet face to face. Most small business associations don't charge anything if if you're coming in asking for advice. You'll get to a point where it'll they'll want something, but
They have free memberships,
correct.
but you can also have a paid membership.
Yep. And so you get to, you get to a certain point, and then you go, hey, I need this. And, they're not going to buy your LLC, but they'll show you how to set it up. Or they're not going to buy your, um, uh,
Website domain.
right, all that, but they'll teach you how to set it up and things. Um, but yeah, go to your small business association. They're going to have open hours. You'll be able to go and say, hey, I want to, can I talk to somebody or can I schedule an appointment? And they'll definitely do that for you. And usually, again, it's retired people that have owned businesses that are, you know what, I'm actually good at this, and so I'm just going to give back to the community.
Well, and there should be some different companies that help startups in the area too. So like here, Dawn got hooked up with Spring GR and Start Garden,
Mhm.
which, helped immensely when she was opening break room therapy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
look into business startup companies or grants and see what avenues are out there because there's a lot of different entrepreneurs that get together and start these foundations that will go and help other entrepreneurs because they enjoy what they do and they want other people to do the same.
And I mean, right, they're going to get a cut, right? So it's like Shark Tank, but a smaller percentage, right? Or
yep.
whatever.
Some of them don't though. I mean, we've never given anything to Start Garden or Spring GR.
No, I guess I'm saying, so like, right, so you could if you needed to, right? And it won, like we'll take for example, Michigan Moonshine, right? It's a distillery here in the local area. We all I know that they're backed by the DeVosses,
Mhm.
which is a very big money people here. They said, "Hey, we'll buy your business. I don't know what percentage. I don't know any
Yeah.
part of it, but like right, they built the building for them. They had the move in. They said, "Hey, you're going to run the company." Now, because we believe in your product, we believe in you.
They get a percentage.
Of course they're going to, right? And they give loans at 4.5% versus going to the bank and getting a bigger loan kind of thing, right? So they're going to say, oh, hey, we need to expand. Great, show me your book, show me this, and they're going to hold your hand kind of through it. So getting connected with those types of things is going to be absolutely key if you were trying to do that specific idea. Um, what other types of ideas, I guess, are you looking at?
Yeah, yeah. So this one's kind of far fetched. I just thought of this one last week. I give credit to my boss for this one because he's a Christmas nut, you know. So granted, I know, Christmas is a once a year thing, but I've done from what research I've done, even just in the t-shirt world, people, I would just hear people say, people start thinking of Christmas come July.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's it's a big thing. Then I started thinking about like Spirit Halloween. You know what I mean? These pop up friggin', they take over abandoned, Kmart's and Walmart's and stuff, and they show up for a month or two, and then they're gone the next day. After the holiday. Why not something like this with Christmas? I know they just started a Spirit Christmas,
They
but
did.
nothing like I'm actually thinking about. You know what I mean? It's I want to see like 500 plus rolls of wrapping paper on a wall. You know what I mean? Every type of ornament, that hangs on a tree, your hearth, your tabletop. I'm talking every type of Christmas light you could possibly imagine. I want to see like a fake Christmas tree forest that you can walk through with your cup of cocoa that you just picked up from my little cocoa, like a deli, like a sweets, counter, and meet greets with Santa Claus, and then offer wrapping services. People are busy these days. You know what I mean? I'm doing it right now. I had to go. I spent 3 hours wrapping presents last night because while my honey stayed at home with the kids. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Everything's at my mom's house. So I stayed there 3 hours last night just wrapping presents. You know what I mean? To get ready for this.
Yep.
So you come in, you drop off your gifts. You know what I mean? In a bag, everything gets tagged, and we have professional wrappers. But not only that, we offer a like like IKEA furniture. You know what I mean? You bring in, you got this box and it's got 1,000 pieces inside. We'll put it together for you. Because of the baby boomer era that we're going through right now. You know what I mean? A lot of people are retiring. A lot of people got money. These guys are the ones that are going to be spending this kind of money. So, and being in Maine, it's just a great starting point. You know what I mean? Just like you guys, Michigan, everyone from the southern states think North Pole is North America. You know what I mean?
Say that's
Northern
it.
part of the states.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how many people told when I moved down to South Carolina, Maine, isn't that in Canada?
Right. That's exactly it.
Come on, man, really?
Right.
So let me ask you something.
I said I love this because I want to break it completely down.
So let me ask you something.
Mhm.
Could you have a year-round Christmas store and make it work?
Fucking Bronner's does.
That was my thought.
Yeah,
'Cause we have a town in Michigan on the east side of the state called Frankenmuth. And in Frankenmuth, there is a store called Bronner's. And at Bronner's, it's Christmas every day.
Yep.
That's
And
what
they're
I'm talking
open.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, they're open what, like
364
is it?
It's 363 days.
Yeah, something like that.
I know they're closed on Christmas.
And maybe Thanksgiving?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Regardless.
Anyway,
Irregardless. So it's Christmas every day there.
yeah.
And they sell Christmas shit all year long. So I mean, just having a pop-up for a couple months is definitely doable because you probably have. I have never been to Bronner's in anything but the summer or fall. Early fall. Like September.
361 days. They are closed New Year's Day, Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas Day.
Okay, yeah.
So they're really religious, which is
Very much.
but it's fun.
And they play Christmas music the entire time.
All year long. So yes, I've gone every time of the year. Normally we go around Thanksgiving between then.
Yeah, because you go over there in the winter. I don't go over there in the winter.
Well, because there's a beer release. So
Yeah.
Christmas Town Ale from Frankenmuth Brewing. I usually try to go before Thanksgiving before it gets popping. And I grab my Christmas Town Ale. And best year I ever went was COVID year
Yeah.
because
Nobody was there.
well, nobody was, but you could buy. So like they couldn't sell the beer because they weren't bringing people there, but they had made the beer for the time. And so I was buying. I don't remember. Honestly, it was so cheap. It was like $24 for a case of 24 beers, right?
Yeah.
Normally it's double or plus whatever. But like I remember, I was like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yep." And I was like, "Great, I'm taking two." Right? Like drink two cases, and my wife's like, "What the hell?" And I was like,
Can't be the price.
This was the price. Like, and she's like, oh, absolutely, because she loves it too.
Yeah.
Um, but so, all right, here's the fun thing. Okay, one, I love your excitement about it. Like, you think you have an entrepreneur mindset now. As you're going through, you need to start honing in how to make this a business and how to treat it like a business, right? I think that's one of the big things you're lacking is how to treat a business like a business versus treating it as an idea or a hobby.
Yep.
Right. So this Christmas idea, if I were in your shoes, I absolutely love this idea. You got excited about having this excuse me, like gingerbread house walkthrough or whatever with
Yeah,
Coco and all
Christmas
that.
tree. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All the
Yep.
inflatables, shit like that.
Yep. So sure, we're gonna know, right? If we're doing inflatables, we're doing things, that's gonna cost us a little bit of money. But you know what doesn't cost us much money is wrapping paper, right? Or wrapping. So if I were in your shoes, right? Here's how I would do this business. I would grow it. Absolutely, I'm starting out a business that is strictly for wrapping, right? So you're gonna go throw your post up and you're gonna say, hey, look, we offer wrapping services, 25 bucks an hour, or whatever it is, right?
Yep.
5 bucks a gift, whatever, honestly, it's gonna take you to do some research, figure out how long it takes for your people to do some wrapping, divide that, do whatever. But the only way I say, right, you're gonna say 25 bucks an hour, get your gifts and then stuff like that. They'll be professionally wrapped and you'll have this. So you're going to start it. You're going to do it, with your fiance, things like that. Um, and you guys will just start this as a small little thing. Every year you're going to grow to more people bringing gifts because they're going to figure out how great it is and they're going to tell people. I love the assembly thing. That goes back to, the problem that you're going to have that I see is a box ships in a, let's call it stupid. Let's call it a 2x4, right? Box ships
Yep.
in a 2x4. Well, when it's built, that is now a uh, four
Oh,
by two by 12, right? And so it's
yeah.
like, oh man, I can't fit it in my car. I can't. So you're gonna have to add, so I would offer that, but like
Delivery.
add delivery
At,
service, right?
at delivery service, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm going to, I'm going to offer the first one. If that goes well, I'm going to offer the second thing with delivery service because, um, you're going to make your money on that delivery, right? We talked to Adam, yeah, say from the
The tent
tent guy,
guy?
right? All of his money's made off fucking delivery.
Oh yeah.
And so, we're learning that very much, right? Because people will pay to not have to do that.
For the
Um,
convenience of it, absolutely.
absolutely. So, right, and then hey, then I'm growing, I'm growing. It'll take you a few years, right? And then you'll get to, hey, I can afford the hot chocolate cart. So I'll tell you what, now my hot chocolate cart is sitting inside, outside of my Christmas themed little room where we're wrapping gifts and we have hot chocolate. So now you have an add-on. Great, the hot chocolate is going because now you've got your hot chocolate figured out what you're using. And then you grow, right? You keep expanding. And this is going to take you years, right? I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in one day. I wouldn't go drop 80,000 bucks to be like, hey, I have this and I have this. But like, I would personally, that's how I'd grow it, right? I'm offering wrapping service. First, it's you. If you get enough, it's your fiance. That hopefully the second year, now you've doubled whatever. Great. You're one of the two of you is replaced, right? Um, and so you hire, hopefully, I don't know how old your kids are, but like, hey, now I have a kid wrapping. Now I have somebody that wants to make 15 bucks an hour.
You
You're
might
making 10.
you might be able to find some retirees that would love this
Absolutely, right?
because a lot of them are looking for stuff to do
Yep.
and they're looking for a little extra coin.
Yep.
Hey, I'll pay you 12 bucks an hour to wrap.
Yep. And honestly, like thinking about it, right? It's okay, hey, it is, and these are all made up numbers. I don't know everything. You're gonna have to do the research, but it's 25 bucks an hour to wrap a gift, basic wrapping paper with tape. You want to add a bow? I mean, that bow's gonna cost you 20 cents. It's gonna take a little bit, whatever. Great. Now we're at 2 bucks for per bow, right? So we have these add-ons. We're gonna make sure you have a name tag or a tag, right? And this tag's gonna say this. But you know what? We have these glitter tags, or we have this. We have these add-ons and these upgrades, right? Now we're making 35 bucks an hour, right? We're making things. It costs you 10 cents, so at 25, let's say it costs you 10, right, to pay. Uh, if we go to 35 an hour, it's going to cost you $10.50 because you had to buy a more expensive tag. You had to buy something, right? Like that bow, the ribbon is only going to cost you, you know, 20 cents for the ribbon, but you're getting $2 for that ribbon. So, right, I'm adding my add-ons right away because it doesn't cost you things. And you don't have to offer every, I know you want every ornament, you want everything, but hey, you know what? This year we're starting out with strictly green and red bows, and then people go, oh, you know what? I'd really like this. Great. You tell you what, we'll see if you can find it right away. I don't know if you live next to a Michaels or whatever. Right. Go. You're gonna pay a little extra until you can source it all in. But now next year, hey, bows really sold. Right now we have 50 different fucking colored bows. Right. We have gold. We have silver, and so again, you don't have to have everything right away, but you have to have things.
So your kid's what, 9?
9.
So
I wouldn't trust her to rap.
I wouldn't either. But here's a question for you.
Uh-huh.
I can offer you 10 gift tags
Mhm.
that you can use from now until the day she dies.
Yep.
And let's say they're $3 a piece.
Yep.
Would you buy them?
No,
Why?
I don't know. It's you selling them.
Probably.
Yeah, but no, I mean that's a great,
I mean, because how
Well,
many
and
people
what-
how many people do you know with a 3D printer right now?
Right. Too many of us.
And I mean, literally, what would it cost you to make a gift tag that says to Emerson from mom and dad?
10 cents?
40 cents, maybe,
Yeah.
if you made it really fancy.
Right. Nice and big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So, and you could sell that to somebody for $3-4.
Oh, easily. Right. Yeah. Easily. You do
Now
cut-
my mind's going.
But you see, you do custom tags on that. But like one thing that Bronner's gets, and they okay, so 20 to $25. I think it's 22,
Mhm.
$22. Let's call it. $22 for an ornament. Okay, it's a glass ornament. My family, it's a tradition that everybody gets a glass ornament, all different colors, things
And
like
what
that.
do they do to that glass ornament, Nick?
Free personalization,
Correct.
right? So people, you have good handwriting.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, right. You have malls by you. There's people that have them at the malls.
Yeah.
You know what the fucking qualification to be an employee there is? Go ahead and write on this for me.
Yeah.
And they take a fucking paint marker and they go, oh, and it's right because my handwriting, if I fucking spell out Nick, it
Sucks.
would look like fucking Dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, right, it just, but right. So and,
I kind of want to get from Dick.
hey, that's exactly it. Uncle Dick loves you. You know, it's just, so right. I think you have a great idea. And the thing is you're gonna have to focus on being able to okay, so take your ideas and break them down. Right? So hey, this is what I want to do.
And start with one and
Yep.
just
Where do I want to start? Okay, and now so I want to get to here. How do I get to here? Well, I can spend $100,000. I don't have that. How do I get $100,000? Well, I can go do this. Nope. How do I get $100,000 in my business? Okay. Well, my business draws back. All right. So it is free for me to wrap, right? It doesn't cost you any money. Sure, I have to buy paper, but now we get, hey, we're buying wrapping paper. So that's the cheapest thing I can buy and now my labor is free in theory. Okay. Now I'm paying myself. And so, right, take back because going to buy an inflatable, going to buy a hot chocolate cart, going to buy the fun mugs that you're going to 3D print or whatever the
Right.
fuck it is to hold this fucking sweet hot chocolate in, right? God, now my idea with a 3D printer,
Yeah.
right, of like I can make amazing mugs that,
I saw a few, honestly, today when I was looking at the beer thing.
oh, it's awesome. But like, right, so like you're going to get to this point and so you're going to grow, you're going to do things. We all know customization is absolutely key.
While we're
Nick-
giving
Nick-
out free business advice here, it might be a little late to jump on the hey, I'm going to wrap your presents now stuff. It might not be, but it might be.
right. But last minute, now we're charging $35 an hour.
But at the same time, you know what happens like on New Year's Day? All the fucking wrapping paper at Walmart's like 75% off.
Yep, we're getting
You go buy all the fucking wrapping paper you can.
well, and let's say right, Christmas we're gonna have 1,000 hours worth of work. Okay, and again made up numbers, right? 1,000 hours worth of work, and it's gonna be done within 2 weeks. But you know what we're gonna expand into? Hey, tell you what, you're going to fucking Joe's birthday party. We'll wrap Joe's gift, right? If
Valentine's gifts,
yep,
Easter,
E-
Hanukkah,
Hanukkah, right? I mean,
Um,
every gift that you could think.
bar mitzvah.
Right? It's the 4th of fucking July, and you're bringing somebody, you're gonna do custom fucking wine bags.
You're
right?
bringing the hot dogs. Let's wrap those fucking hot dogs.
And it's gonna be in fucking sexy paper, right? I know I want hot dogs.
I want hot dogs too.
I like-
But right, I mean, so like if you want to stick to Christmas, and so I personally wouldn't go into other themes. I would stick to like Christmas itself and say, hey, this is, and then start, and then say, hey, all right,
But I mean, if you start with the wrapping paper,
Yes,
you could expand out to wrap other stuff easily.
exactly, right. And so, and
Weddings, whatever.
right, wedding gifts. I mean, right, and you can tell
You
you what.
become the wrapping guy. We got the tent guy, now we got the wrapping guy, but the wrapping guy then evolves into other Christmassy type stuff.
Yep. And that's it, right? So like figure out something. And that's what the whole thing is. Break your business down and say, "Hey, do I want to go into strictly Christmas? Do I want to go into the inflatable? Is that my number one thing? Or do I really like this wrapping and it's actually making me good money? Now I'm going to expand over into, weddings. I think is a great one, right? Hey, have your thing shipped here. We will custom wrap it and we will ship it back out, right? And now we're making our money off of this, and so it's going to be beautifully done. Um, I mean, think about it. Like weddings are, it's people are spending 25,000 bucks on average or something for a wedding. So like,
Yep.
yes, people want to get these gifts. You're going to go into you know, custom gosh, card envelopes, right?
What
Custom
about
envelopes with
what about
stamps.
custom wrapping paper? You know what I mean? Like personalized wrapping paper.
I think that's going to be fine. You're going to have to source that through China and things like that. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to print you. I mean, for you, if you had your printer back, right, it'd be different. But
Right.
to get to that point, it's a possibility. But right, at what cost, right? Hey, it's going to cost me this much to have this done, or I can just go here and now I'm customizing a bow or a tag,
True.
and so hey, my custom wrapping paper I can only make $1 on, where my custom bow I can make $3 on. You know what?
Yep.
That custom fucking bow is where I'm gonna head because
Yep.
that's my bread and butter, right?
Yep.
Um, and again, there's no wrong ideas, but like take your business and figure out where you can start and grow that business into the next big thing.
So here's a YouTube video from February 11th, 2022. Westfield mother starts successful gift wrapping business.
Yep. I don't know where Westfield is.
I have no fucking clue.
So,
But I mean, there's obviously stuff out there where people are talking, hey, 5 things I wish I knew when I started my gift wrapping business.
well, I will tell you one of the big things is, and I used it personally. I suck at wrapping, right? I am the guy who has 400 pounds extra of fucking paper and 300 pounds more tape, and you know, I'm the guy. You know why I think fucking joke gift openings became a thing? It's because of assholes like me that had shitty wrapping, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna cover this in duct tape, and then I'm gonna cover it in fucking this, and then I'm gonna make it harder to get into."
Yeah.
That way, my wrapping job doesn't matter because it just sucks that fucking much, right? And speaking of that, right, you can make that stupid fucking thing, 3D print the box where now we have to take off all the nuts and the bolts and this and that, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and
Well,
so you
puzzle
could.
boxes.
Right, exactly. You could do that. Hey, we offer fun and we offer joking rapping as well, type of a thing. So it's expansion. But I really think that's a decent idea
Yeah.
to make. You're not going to make 100,000 bucks for year one, right?
Absolutely
But
right.
but now if and this lady has it, it's not here in Michigan, so we know that it's not a franchise, right?
Right.
So now, hey, we can start franchising these things, right? Just like FedEx, you go drop your fucking Amazon package off. Now you go into a fucking,
Drop it off at, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a Walmart or anything. You know what I mean? It could be a smaller store at that point. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Something with some room to put some pop-up tables and, to have enough room for your fucking wrapping paper to roll out with,
what's your guys' I mean, I know you have a Walmart out there. Like, what do you have any other like stores?
We-
We have Meyer out here. Or,
So we have a store out here called Rennie's. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just outdoor gear, you know what I mean? Shit like that.
But,
But
right.
we have the standard Walmart, Dick's, all
Yep.
that. Yeah.
But you look at so if you have Dick's, that's probably in a mall versus a standalone location. Ours are here. Right. I know the Boy Scouts used to do it, right? They used to sit outside of Sears,
Mhm.
and the Boy Scouts would just take donation to wrap your gift as you walked out. So if, like, I walk out of Sears and I'm like, fuck, wrap this blanket because God knows
You don't want to.
all my blankets are just gonna look like Tootsie Roll wrappers, right? I'm gonna crinkle up the end, fucking tape them up, and go, that looks great. But because I'm not a fucking rapper, right? Like, if my daughter thought that, I was, if she wanted to know that Santa wasn't, Santa, she'd be like, that's dad's shit rapping. Santa doesn't suck that bad. I'm glad I have a wife, right? But
My wife is you. She sucks at rapping.
but but that's why I turned to bags, right? And you can offer bags. Hey, like now we have, and again, you can custom that bag, right? Whether it's, hey, create a stencil of a 3D print. Now you have fucking spray paint or whatever, and it's right
I
over
love
top
that
of it,
idea.
right? Absolutely. So, right. I mean, there's just a million ideas to expand.
If I'm doing this, I'm buying like an A1 or an A1 Mini,
Oh, dude, all day.
a couple $100,
They're running.
and just printing the shit out of everything.
Yep. Well, and you know, I mean, if you're doing, hey, if I'm doing a custom bag or something like that, you know, it's going to take 4 hours to print something, whatever it might be for us. So you tell the person, hey, look, if it's a rush order, it's 10 extra bucks. If I can print it in line and queue, it's going to cost you, you know,
Well, I made that chain for you for
Yep.
somebody you knew.
yep,
And what I charge, like $50?
50 bucks. Yeah.
Because it took me like 2 hours to design the damn thing.
Yep.
I could print another one of those right now for 25.
Right.
But nobody's asking me to design it again. I already did. The
Mhm.
design's there now, so now it's cheaper.
Yep.
Once you get it done,
It becomes cheaper.
it's already done. It's cheaper every time.
Say every time it's cheaper. And so, and then when you get into the bulk, right, you're buying at bulk discounts.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's a decent way to start. And again, people are going to spend with their emotions, and holidays are emotional. So, um,
I love the fact that you guys like this idea because I thought this was one of the craziest ideas I could ever think of.
probably one of my it's probably one of my favorite ideas.
Honestly, I like this better than the packets.
Packets, yeah.
The packets are an interesting idea, but I think that would take a hell of a lot more work.
I think it's way too much work. Right? This one is one you could start tomorrow, right? You
Yeah.
go on Facebook and you say, "Hey, I'm offering my service for 25 bucks," and you could do it right now. It is
Yep.
December 16th,
17th.
17th, right? You go throw it up, and
If you hit me up, after the 22nd, it goes up $10 an hour.
yep, right, something like that, right? And guaranteed delivery by this time.
How many single dads out there, you know what I mean, would be hitting that service up because
100%.
Yep,
paycheck right before Christmas. Now they got to go buy their fucking kids everything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a no-brainer. It really is.
yep. And you say, "Hey, have it shipped here," and
So here's some great free advice. When you decide you want to do something like this, and let's say you decide a name, uh, Santa's Wrapping Express. I don't give a shit,
Yep.
whatever it is.
You ready for this? Listen
yeah.
to this. St. Nick's Workshop.
They're perfect because it plays into your name.
Yeah.
So what you do is first you buy the domain,
Yep.
which costs you like $30 a year.
Yep.
Because once you file, let's say you go and file an LLC with that name, some asshole out there is going to see that and they're going to go buy the domain.
Yep.
And then you don't get it.
So start with
So when my wife decided, hey, I really like Break Room Therapy as a name, she went and made a website.
Well,
She bought breakroomtherapy.com, made a website, and then filed LLC paperwork as Break Room Therapy. So nobody could squat on that domain.
we'll let you know that one's available. So
And that one's available. So those are things you do just preemptively saying, all right, I like this idea. This is what I'm going to go with. I'm going to get all of that set up before I do literally anything else.
and it costs you 30 bucks as a risk.
Yeah.
Right? And so I mean, you've set up a website before for your other business, so you know how it's done. You know,
Even if you don't know how it's done, it's free to do. Go on GoDaddy. You don't
GoDaddy.
even have to set up the website. Just you buy the domain and that's already locked in.
Yep.
Yep.
And so I really think, yeah, I mean that's a decent idea. So what else you got for us?
Well, those are the two most recent. I'm actually thinking about, trying to get out of this 9 to 5 gig right now. And I don't know. I found watching this lady on TikTok lately about being a medical courier. So I heard a while ago, don't go out and buy, your brand new truck, your brand new car. Buy a vehicle that's going to make you fucking money.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I'm on the verge of, getting into a newer vehicle, not newer, but newer to me. And I'm thinking like one of those Ford Sprinter vans. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Something that I can just pick up these side gigs. You know what I mean, on the weekends and shit, just so I can just start delivering, and then boom, then there's my delivery van for the St. Nick's Workshop. Shit
Yep.
like that. And just it all plays into. You know what I mean? I'm kind of just building my blocks as I go along, and I'm just taking my time, building my credit. Talking to the right people, surrounding myself with good quality people instead of the fucking, no offense to anybody that I'm friends with that is watching this right now, but the freaking the dumbasses, you know what I mean? That never wanted to hear me listen. never wanted to listen to me. So
We're almost an hour in. I have a question because I've watched a few of your videos, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go on this podcast. I don't really know what we're gonna talk about. So we're almost an hour in. Are you happy you came on the podcast?
I'm fucking ecstatic that I came out here to talk to you guys today, man. I'm having a blast.
Yeah,
We're so the translation is we're a lot of fucking fun.
that's a fact.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, we tell you, right? We don't prep you with any questions because guess what? We're gonna ask a question if you don't know the answer. It's your stuff, right? Like you need to know the answer, right? So,
Answering the questions right for you guys. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Am I explaining myself correct?
Yep.
It's all it's just all coming off right off my head. You know what I mean? The shit that I just go to bed thinking about, I wake up thinking about. So
and that's what an entrepreneur does, right? And then they take action. So, the biggest thing is to take action. I hope that tomorrow you hop on TikTok and you say, "Hey, I bought a domain name, uh, Saint Nick's Workshop, and we're offering wrapping paper." And I'm gonna be like, "Hell yeah, here we go!" Right?
yeah,
Even if it doesn't work out, it cost you $30 at that point to buy the fucking domain. But like,
You don't think you could make $30 back immediately?
again, $25 for $30 for the first hour. That's what you're gonna do, right?
All you gotta do is buy some fucking paper and tape.
You don't have to buy it until you get your first client.
Right.
You don't have to, right?
And what is paper running? Let's say it's $5. Let's say it's expensive. $5. What's tape? Another two?
$1.25 at the dollar store for 2 rolls.
Okay, so it costs you $2.50 plus tape, another dollar. You're in $3.50, so you're into $33.50 now.
Yeah, and you have scissors at home, I'm assuming. If not, the dollar store carries them
all
for
care or
$1.25.
care for $1.
Yep. So,
I mean, you basically 1 hour's worth
$35.
of work
Yep.
could pay for the entire year.
Yep. And you've lost nothing except for a few moments of time,
Yeah, a little bit of time.
right? Um,
Again, how much you don't work anymore?
correct.
How
I mean,
much-
I do. I worked
You don't work for a 9 to
3
5 anymore.
3 hours today.
You don't work a 9 to 5 anymore. I trade in time in my life for, let's say, take home of $22 an hour after I pay for everything.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And I mean, but right, but that's why you have break room, right? To try to get you to that different point and
Well,
different
I mean,
level.
it doesn't get me there, but
Well-
it gets my wife there.
Right. But eventually, again, I keep trying to tell you to franchise, but I don't want to go here, I don't want to go there, I don't want to do, and again, it's not where you want to be. So it's
Part
not
of the
gonna
franchise thing is I have to trust somebody else to trade on my name.
look, fucking nobody, scare money don't make money.
How much do you want somebody else to run Nick Watkins Homes?
Nobody.
Why?
Because they suck.
Right. That's
Nope.
where I'm at with Break Room.
Nobody's going to work as hard as me.
Correct. Nobody's going to put into this business what we put into this business.
Right. But that's why but that's why it goes to me, right? Like you have to train that person. You have to get that to the next, and Dawn needs to work 80 hours, 90,
I
150.
mean, she works 70 now.
Okay, 140, right? I mean, it's being rich isn't easy, right? Like people think, you say, sure, the Waltons, the heirs, right? And that's what my problem with the heirs is, right?
Yeah, they
But
do nothing and they get a shit ton
But
of
if you
money.
expanded into one per state, every single state figured out the fucking area, did all this, I mean, you'd be filthy fucking rich, and eventually you'd hire a GM to do this, and you'd have regions, and you'd have regional manager, whatever it might be. But again, it's not where you guys want to
Yeah,
head,
we're
right?
not there at that point.
Right. So, but I think right with his idea. I mean, God, you fucking
But you could throw that that would work everywhere.
So like we have Meijer, we have Walmart, we have and Walmart always has a rotating fucking company filling their stupid spot. Like Subway's gone out 3 times or
Yep.
whatever, and it's like, great, now we're here, and so you go to Walmart and say, hey, I'm gonna rent this fucking space for this period of time, and now you have somebody that's shopping at fucking Walmart, the layaway people, and you go, hey, you're paying layaway, and those are the fucking best people to have.
Oh, they
right?
absolutely are. 'Cause they have no
That's
fucking
a
money.
genius idea right there.
Oh,
Check
trust
out
me,
an old salon or whatever that used to be there.
Yep.
Utilize that space for the
Yep.
freaking 3 months and
Yep.
fucking
You're-
bank off it.
You're the new Spirit Halloween. Hey, you're not using this space. I'll pay you this amount for this time.
Kiosks
Now
in
we're-
the fucking mall.
Right.
Make a fucking kill because they're there for a month.
Yeah. Dude, the fucking roasted nut shop that sells $7 bags of fucking nuts doesn't keep buying every single year because they're losing money.
Yeah.
Right. This is a thing that happens.
Yeah.
So, right, you're finding, until you can buy your own brick and mortar little spot or whatever, because you don't want to be out in butt fuck Egypt. You want to be by the places, or right, you want to build, and that's the whole thing. You have to figure out how you're going to build your building. Are you going to do it from the consumer that goes and buys stuff and brings it to you, or are you going to be the person that says, "Hey, ship all your Amazon stuff packages to here, have your name, have blah blah, blah, and we'll take care of it from there."
A
Right?
wrapping fulfillment service.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it. Right?
Sending it right back to them when then it's all wrapped and everything.
Yep. So I mean, Amazon ships for free. You just
That's
happen to pay. They're going to pay one-time shipping because they have to pay you to fucking ship it out, right?
Yep.
And how fast do you want it? How much are you willing to pay for it, right? You'll get the discount on shipping because you're shipping out multiple things. And so, again, it's going to start local. It's going to go global. Whatever it might
If
be.
I had more people to buy presents for,
Yeah.
I would absolutely fucking do this. I have 3 people to buy presents for, so I don't mind wrapping them. But if I had, 10 people to buy presents for, I'm not wrapping all that shit. I don't care.
Well, even at that, I mean, think of how many, and you and I are not the people,
No,
right? We don't post our fucking photo.
no, because we're cheap.
Well, we don't post our photo of our gifts, right?
No,
Sure, I have a picture of my tree, but like, there's no gift. But like,
I don't even put up a fucking tree anymore. I don't
Right.
even care. My kid's 29.
but like, think about the people that want that perfect photo, so they want those gifts beautifully wrapped,
Yep.
and they're gonna go set them up and beautifully wrapped gift. You know what? If you offer this and you stage that one photo that just shows this, boom. Now we have right. We have those rich people in Manhattan that are sitting here going, "Fuck yes, I'm buying this."
So
service,"
while we're
right?
wrapping presents at Walmart,
Yeah,
Nick's a bigger guy.
yeah,
Nick could be Santa Claus.
absolutely.
You could come in and get, your pictures with your kids and Santa Claus, or if you're in a place where you can bring your pet with Santa Claus. I mean,
Yep.
That's huge.
how
That's,
much money does that? Though you will get a fucking parent that will pay $40 for their fucking picture with Santa.
And their puppy. Yeah. So.
We have so many good ideas around Christmas.
Yeah, of course. But I say, and again, it doesn't have to stay. It can stay Christmas, but know that you're only and you're going to make, there's companies that make their money strictly just at Christmas. Spirit Halloween, right? They're only open for 3 months a year or whatever it might be. They
yep,
make enough money to only own one business for 3 months a fucking year, right? Like,
I'm talking about.
let's
That's
be clear about this,
You know
right?
what I mean? Then you got 9 months to do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Well, I mean, they're
Get ready
busy
for
buying the next,
year. I mean,
right? They're busy figuring out the next trend for next year and saying, hey, we're going to build all of these and we need more.
So I think the point is when Nick gets really big here,
Mhm.
we're going to be sponsored,
Absolutely.
and
Never wrap a gift again.
absolutely, we're going to just talk about this for a nice 30-second commercial at the beginning and the middle of every episode.
Yep. So,
I'm ecstatic you guys like that idea, man, because that
I
was one
love
of my
that
favorite
idea.
ones
I
I could
think-
think of.
I like it because it is a very cheap in,
Yeah,
and
you're not putting a bunch of money out.
right. Like you can expand it so much.
You could
right?
start this business for literally $100.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you probably start it for 50.
I would say right if you wanted to have wrapping paper on hand, you said you've been wrapping already, so you already
Oh, yeah.
have extra
I've already
paper.
got paper. Yeah, I've got paper from 4 years ago.
Right.
See,
Like, you know?
exactly. But and then again, you're sending your wife into Walmart the day after Christmas, and you're buying.
Usually New Year's Day,
Why?
because it's 75% off when you hit New Year's Day.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, they put all of their holiday shit 75% off. It's the only time I'll shop at Walmart because fuck Walmart.
Yeah.
But I'll go there on New Year's Day because I can get fucking wrapping paper. They'll have Spider-Man fucking Christmas wrapping paper for 50 cents.
See, and exactly right. But you know me. I mean, I go every day after Halloween, and I buy
Candy.
all my because I don't hand out candy. I hand
Right.
out toys and trinkets
Right.
and glow sticks. But I go every day after Halloween, and I get it 50 to 75% off.
Yeah.
And that's what I hand out for the next year. I've never paid full price for it, right?
Yeah,
Why
New
would you?
Year's
Why
Day
would
is 75 to 95%.
So you don't need to fill a storage unit, right, for the first year, but you need to
Right.
buy a few extra things, and it'll take off. So
Yep.
um,
Yeah.
I
I'm
like it.
ecstatic you guys like that idea. I mean, that right there just topped my whole night right there.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing thing. Really, 'cause
That could be a moneymaker. That really could.
it's so expandable, right?
Yeah.
It's so expandable.
There's so many things you can just add on
You
to
know,
it.
and so then I guess I want to figure out how to walk you through this. So you're gonna start your company, and the small business is gonna help you because the hope is to get to a big enough, and they're like the Small Business Association is gonna teach you how to hire an employee, right? You're gonna need to get an EIN. You're gonna need to have another person, and so that's what you're gonna have to figure out is how to be an HR rep. Um, right? And that's something I think you're missing is how to run the business, right?
Exactly.
Expectations. So
Exactly
hey,
it right there.
is my and let's be honest, like the you said like the retired person, you know what? They're gonna come in at 7 a.m., right? Because they're gonna get their morning donut and coffee.
Because they woke up at 4.
Correct, right? And then they're gonna come to work for you, and they might have to go pick up their grandkid, from school at 3. So they want to work 7 to 2 or whatever for a little bit. Or I don't know what your schedule is, but it's like, hey, are you going to be a company that's open 24 hours while having three different employees working 8-hour shifts? Are you going to have people only come for 4 hours a day? Like you have to figure all of that type of a thing out.
Yep.
And I think that's where you're either A, you overthink it, or B, you never think about it, right? And that's you need to figure all that out. Like, hey, step by step. And again, take it back to the beginning. This is the number one thing I want to do, right? I want to wrap gifts. Okay. What do I need to do that? I need material and a person. Okay. Material is paper, tape, scissors, a
Right.
tag, a marker or ink pen or something
Yeah.
something nice to write, or figure out how to print these fuckers. But so like if you don't have good handwriting, so then the next one is like I need a person. Okay, for now that's me because I can't afford to pay anybody or don't have an employee. So hey, I'm too busy now. Again, when we get busy as entrepreneurs, right, we go on the closest people we can rely on. So for you, it's probably your fiance just as much as it was my wife, right? I paid my wife more to fucking peel stickers than I paid myself because I was like, hey, you're taking your time out of your life to help me be successful. I just I can't tell you how much, right? I'd make $100, she'd make 200 because I'm like, hey, it's taking time from her as
I'm
well.
sitting over here working at Break Room for free.
Right, that's exactly it, right? But again, like, right, your wife
Yeah,
relies on you.
she
And so,
does. It's free labor.
yep.
So, and again, like even expanding on the Christmas shit, you want to know what I made for Jessica and Caitlin?
No,
Custom ornaments.
custom, right? That's amazing.
So they have animals, so I made custom animal ornaments.
Yep.
It's got their name on it. It's
Well,
for the cats, it's a little cat head. It's got some snowflakes. It's cute, right?
yeah. Well, that's what I did.
And
So for
and,
my,
and for the dogs.
oh, nice.
Isn't that great?
So like my t-shirt company, right? So I call it a t-shirt company, but like it was a graphics company. So I made custom ornaments. So I'd go to Michael's and they always offer a 50% off or a 70% off. Or right, like so I had these glitter balls that were styrofoam and then they had the clear ornaments.
Hmm.
So I would just stuff in colors. So I made Red Wings, so I'd use silver and red. If I made the 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 Packers, right? Green and silver or green and yellow,
Green and gold, yeah.
green and gold. And if I made
Who the
a
fuck would want a Packers one? No, fuck
bunch
the
of, I
Packers.
made a fucking Ohio State one because
Fuck the Packers.
I made Ohio State and
That's not me.
silver and red, right?
That's gross
And
too.
and so I would do that, right? And but what I did was I just cut out it was Arial fucking text, right? And it just said this person's name, right? And it just said, hey, and I sold so many
Hmm.
fucking ornaments to people. You know where I didn't sell ornaments?
Where?
At the fucking craft show. I brought all my stuff in there. I did my one and only craft
I'm
show.
not surprised.
My one and only, and I brought my fucking printer. My computer caught on fire right before the crash, so I had to reload everything onto my laptop. And I brought my printer. I brought everything, and I was like custom ornaments on the fucking spot, right? Because I can just weed it, throw that thing on.
Yeah.
I'll be sold zero that day.
Jesus.
Yep, zero, right? Granted, I craft people are fucking different people. And
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna let you guys know this, right? Like these people know where to fucking get their table. They pre-book for the next 17 fucking years of their life. Me, I got tucked in the fucking basement in the back area, and people would look and go, meh. And I'm like, dude, I did a fucking Lakers one with purple and
Mhm.
gold. I have so many. Like, you can hop onto Hipster Nation right now onto Facebook, and you can see a bunch of my ornaments that were fucking done.
You know what I love?
What's that?
The few events we've been set up for, which you keep bailing on me,
Yeah,
dickhead.
that's my fault.
You'll have people walk by and they're like, "Oh, I can make that."
Yeah.
Then make it, motherfucker.
Yep, go do it.
I don't really give a shit. My grandmother used to do that. We'd go to Shipshawana
Yep,
and she'd look at every fucking craft person and go, I could do that. And you know what I always said to her?
do it.
But you don't.
Right. So buy it now. Um. So what else? I say. I guess what else do you got?
I think that's about it right now, for now, anyways.
Yeah. No. And so I guess just to hone it in again one more time. take back everything, start from one, right? What does it take to make this happen? And then grow from there, right? You don't need to go buy 100,000 fucking t-shirts sitting in a storage facility, right? You don't need to do that. I know that you seem a lot like me, where you're like, oh, this is gonna be the greatest thing in the world. I'm gonna go buy every fucking thing of wrapping paper that's ever out there. Don't, right? Don't ever plan for failure, but you don't need to plan to be the most successful. And also, right, green and red are always going to be Christmas, but you don't know if this year is going to be green and red snowflakes or green and red fucking
Snowman.
bells, right? Like,
Yep.
so you don't want wrapping paper from the 1970s being put on a Christmas paper, a Christmas. So, if you can't sell it, so start. And again, the first year, yeah, let's say we go buy five fucking 75% clearance things, and we go through all five, and we have to go buy some at full price. Yeah, we didn't make as much money as we could have, but now we know, hey, this year we went through 8, 10 rolls. Okay, next year we're hoping to plan for 10% growth. So at 10, we're grabbing an extra one roll, right? So now we have the 11th. And if you go through all of that because you expanded bigger, congrats, you're going to pay a little extra, but you've saved the money on it.
Well, see, and I think that's when you start also going to some of the people you know. So, let's just talk about a couple of the things that we threw out there earlier. So, like the gift tags, get them 3D printed. So you find a friend that has a 3D printer. You got two new friends today that have 3D printers,
Yep.
and you go to your friends and you're like, hey, if you don't need to write a gift tag every year that says to Sally from mom and dad, and I could just give you a gift tag for $3 and you just reuse it year after year. Would you pay $3 for that?
Absolutely.
And then you find, those people that are like, yeah, I would pay $3 for that. And then you reach out to your 3D printing friend and you're like, hey, I could sell these for $3. How much would it take you to print? And my first question would be, how many do you need? So I need, 15 that say to Sally from mom and dad or to Sally from Santa, whatever. I would sit there and I would, come up with a design and figure out, all right, well, I could print these, let's say, for 50 cents a piece. So it's going to take me 2 hours to print 15 of them. I'll sell them to you for, a buck a piece. You're going to turn around and sell them for $3.
$2 profit right there.
That's a no fucking brainer.
Seriously.
So I mean, you look at things like that, and because you're in the Christmas field, maybe I'll start doing some custom ornaments. Maybe I'll start you had brought up custom paper. Maybe you get in good with somebody that has those skills, and you're like, hey, I really want to do custom paper, and they can go, well, custom paper that's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to be $4 a roll. But you go to your friend Bob, and you're like, hey, Bob, I can do custom paper for your kid, but it's not going to cost you $25 an hour to wrap these gifts in that custom paper. It's going to cost you $40 an hour. And then Bob figures, I'd really like my kid to have some custom fucking paper, because some people every year there was different paper from Santa Claus for Caitlin every year, because we had certain paper that we used, but then there was always a fresh something that was from Santa. Do you know how many years she noticed?
None.
Not a fucking year, but what my wife knew.
Right. So my brother-in-law happens to have different wrapping paper than I do.
Uh-huh.
And so my brother-in-law happens to, right, wrap a gift, and I happen to wrap some gifts. And so, right, but like that's just it, right? People are always going to play that up. From Santa, from Santa. So sorry, one of our great listeners is asking.
Oh, do we have a question from a listener?
Um, so where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So when I sold my house in here in Maine and moved to Florida, I put ourselves on a 5-year plan. So I'm now into what? We moved in 2021, going on our 4 years, I guess that would be.
3 to 4, yeah.
So you know what I mean? I'm still kind of on a 5-year plan, you know what I mean? But I'm not opposed to starting a new 5-year plan. You know what I mean? As long as the original is corresponding with the new. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. So
which this past 4 years have been nothing but a learning curve for me. So you know what I mean. And now I'm still on the entrepreneur side of things, and yeah. So it would be. I see my. I just want to see my family successful. You know what I mean? I want to be able to take the vacation, once a year, like a normal family does. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't call that normal.
Yeah, it's not. It's no longer normal.
I've learned that I've been nicely talked to that is not normal.
That's not normal anymore.
It's not. People don't have that kind of disposable income anymore, and there's a million reasons. I mean, we talk about it almost on a weekly basis when we do Bucks and Brews.
Yep.
It's totally out of the realm of natural for people anymore. Like
I never took one. You did.
My generation, every year we took a vacation, and it wasn't just me; it was my friends too. They always went on vacation. We always went on vacation.
My father-in-law.
I went to Hawaii 5 times when I was a kid.
Right.
And when was your first vacation? How old were you?
20, probably like 20. I'm how old right now? 36 minus 10. So I was 26 when I went out of the country. My wife and I did some, Cedar Point stuff, but I guess I would say real vacation. I was 26 years
Well,
old.
see, and I think my first real vacation, I would say, was Disney. I was 6.
Yeah. Oh, see. Yeah. No. I I I would call going with my buddy to New York a vacation. His family flew me out type of, but like it wasn't anything.
It had nothing to do with you.
Correct. So like my first official was 26 years old.
Yeah.
Right. Like and now, right, my daughter goes on vacation every fucking year, but I say
Well, you've become very successful.
sometimes. So but right, like you have to look at yourself and say, hey, where do I want to go? And every day write down your goals. Okay. So and when I say that, write down all of your goals. Okay. So if it's and literally like if I were you, I'm gonna put myself in your shoes. So I'm hopping off of this call. I'm gonna say, yes, this call impacted me. Yes, this is what I want to do. All right, great. So step one, I want to get the domain because I know it's available. So I'm gonna go figure that out. Yes, I have $30. Okay. Step two, I'm making a Facebook post or I'm gonna go on TikTok.
Yeah, go to Facebook and get the same fucking thing.
Yep.
So, I mean, when we decided on Bucks and Brews,
Yep.
so backstory, because I mean, you don't really know us. You've known us for like a week just through messages. Um, we started Bucks and Brews technically right at the start of COVID because you couldn't get together with your friends anymore. And Nick and I were always bouncing money ideas off of each other. So I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, you want to hop on Zoom and just talk? And a coworker of mine hopped on, and we spent like 4 hours that night on Zoom drinking beer, talking money stuff.
Yeah.
And I said to him afterwards, I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I think we should throw that on YouTube because it wouldn't take much work. And he goes, I don't know how to do that. So I just took it upon myself to throw it on YouTube. And 4 or 5 months later, I had a buddy of mine who actually did the artwork for Bucks and Brews. He's like, it would really probably work better as a podcast. And we really didn't know what that took, but I'm a techie guy, so I went and figured it out. And I sent Nick like 6 or 7 names. And the one I liked the best was Bucks and Brews. And he read that one and he's like, that's got to be the fucking name. So I immediately went out and grabbed the domain. I immediately went out and grabbed the Facebook page. We couldn't use the $ because it didn't work on Facebook.
Right.
So, I mean, when you go on Facebook, it's Bucks and Brews. But
Right.
when you look anyplace else, it's Bucks with $ for the S's and Brews,
Yep.
and then the and sign in the middle. So, I mean, it can be difficult to find us from time to time, but we like what we like.
Oh. But we're the same all around, right?
Well, my TikTok obviously is just my handle. It's not
Right.
the Bucks and Brews handle. But in others, I mean, when we had a Twitter, it was Bucks and Brews. We went and grabbed the stuff we needed from the places we needed it before I filed any LLC paperwork because I didn't want somebody squatting on something I might want.
Right. So yeah, and right, so you're gonna hop on, find everything. Okay, you know what? Facebook costs you nothing, right?
Yeah, free.
Time to set it up. So you're gonna grab the fucking page. You're gonna do all this, and then what I would do is say, all right, goal number one, get wrapping paper, get all my supplies into one spot. Goal number two, find a client, right? And then I'm going to say, all right, how do I find it? And it's literally just a web, right? How do I find a client? Okay, I'm going to hop on Facebook and say, this is what I'm offering. I'm going to make phone calls to my own family and say, hey, this is what I'm offering if you're interested.
I got to imagine there's local informed groups everywhere.
Exactly.
So I'm part of Grand Rapids Informed, as are you. I'm part of what is it, Byron
Georgetown.
Center, Wyoming, Granville Informed, which probably so are you. You're in Georgetown,
I'm in
Hudsonville.
every informed page within an hour of me. I mean, I'm in St. John's fucking informed, right?
I'm in Coopersville.
Right. Yeah, exactly, right?
So I mean, you go in these things and you just post out there, hey,
Yep.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm starting my own business. This is what I'm doing. If anybody could use my services, hit me up. Some of them will have rules against doing that.
Right.
So you find the ones that have, you read through the rules, see what is allowed. Some of them have free days where, it's like free business Monday.
yeah,
you can post anything you want.
Yep. Well, and even at that, like, get yourself banned from one, right? Like, who cares? Like, it's gonna get out there until it gets fucking taken down, right?
Right.
Most admins are lazy.
Well, they might just take it down and not ban you and say, yeah, you can't post
Yeah,
that.
right,
And then
exactly.
you're like, all right, sorry, my
My
bad.
bad, right? But it got out there to somebody, right? Somebody's gonna slide into your DMs and be like, "Hey, I've seen this. What's this all about?" And so like, I'm going to just instantly post it, right? And then with that, my other thing is gonna say, "Hey, how much do I want to charge? How much do I want to make? What, how does that look?" Okay, I need to figure out cost. Okay, wrapping paper does cost me, and it'll say per roll, right? I don't know how it's done. Let's call it 100 square feet.
Mhm.
Okay, 100 square feet does, um, you know, this many of this size things. Okay, great. I'm now able to do 4 presents off of one roll. Okay, that cost me $5 for the roll, so I need to make $20 off of that roller, because
Mhm.
each gift's going to cost you this. So you got to figure out your profit. That's going to be a thing. But to me, I just get jumping, going, and go, fuck it, I'll figure it out later. But again, if I
Like my
lowball
motto.
if I lowball 2 seconds, like, I'm gonna learn real quick, and you'd be like, nope. And here's my number one fucking quick thing: 20 bucks an hour, $25 an hour, right? And I'm gonna go, oh shit, I didn't make the money I want. Well, that was my introductory price for the first, however many guests.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry, we're up to $30, and people are gonna go, yeah, it's no big deal, right? I heard about your salary. So, you'll hone that in. It's gonna take time, figure out all your costs, things like that.
Prices go up. People are used to it.
Yep, and
Yep.
don't go crazy worrying about it so much. Like, go make some money right away, and you have free time right now. I mean, you have an hour to fucking sit here and talk to us, so you have an hour to wrap a gift and learn, right? I believe hands-on learning is the best learning, right? I don't think you're gonna go open another screen printing business or anything like that.
Not anytime soon, that's for sure.
Exactly, right? Um,
Well, I like things that are low investment wise because I don't want
Absolutely.
to put a shit ton of money into something that's not going to turn out and work.
Yep.
Dawn says that to me all the time. She's like, "Why did you 3D print that?" Because it cost me like $4. If nobody fucking buys it, maybe I'll hang it. I like it, whatever.
Yep.
And again, it cost me $4 fucking.
Well, I know that you have stuff that I think will sell.
Mhm.
I will never print it
Yeah,
because it's not something I like, and I don't want to be stuck with it, right?
I printed one dice tower.
Yeah.
I think it's neat.
Yeah.
I would use it. I might never sell it.
You'll never use it.
But you
Right.
love dice towers
Never use
because
it.
you love dice.
Right. I'll never use it.
Yeah, but you're going to print those because you're passionate about it.
Exactly, right.
And you're going to talk to people about, oh my God, look at this dice tower I have. It's fucking awesome.
Watch it drop. Like, and I'm like, yeah, that's fun. Right now, I don't play fucking D&D. I tell people, like, oh, you really big into D&D? Nope, not a fucking shit. Why do you like dice so much? I don't know.
You just like
okay?
dice.
I think because they're all shiny and colors and different
Every
things.
time I see fucking light up dice,
Dude, it's fucking
I
hilarious.
send that shit to you.
Yes. Right. The new ones I think are stupid. And I laugh every time because I'm like, I don't fucking want to deal with those anymore. I think they're great for other people. Right.
Right.
Like, but right. So, and again, I'm just going to sit here, a piece of paper, right? This one might be written all the way around. 8 by 11 sheet of paper. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to write everything. And then I'm going to wake up the next morning. I'm going to say, okay, today's goals. So today's goal is to get to this step, this step, this step. Also, my 5-year goal is to have 10 employees and a storefront. My 10-year goal is to have 3 storefronts within this region. My 15-year goal is, and that goal is going to change every year, every 10 year. It's going to change constantly, right? Because, the hope and success is we said 5 years, you're going to get to, 10 employees and 3 storefronts. Um, and hopefully you hit that year one or year two, whatever it might be. Okay, you know what? Great. Now I'm expanding. And so that 5 and 10 year goal needs to change, right?
Well, and I love the long-term goals, but I also like short-term goals.
Yeah.
What's my goal in the next 6 months?
Pay off all your debts,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
That's great. You figure out what those are because again, when we talk about debt relief for people, we've done several debt episodes.
Oh gosh, yes.
You and I are very much, hey, pay off the highest interest rate, let's go.
Yep.
Even if it's, even if you owe 30,000 on that, we got to get rid of that high interest rate as quickly as possible.
Yep.
But there are a lot of people out there that they need to see a win.
They need a victory.
So they need that $200 bill at 0% interest paid off so that they have a win.
Yep.
Okay, well, we're going to pay that off in 2 months.
Perfect.
So that gives you your win. We're going to start throwing some extra money at this bigger stuff, but we're going to keep winning so that you stay engaged because we need you engaged.
Yep. And so there's no wrong way to do it, or say that,
There's a wrong way to do it.
right.
But as long as you're doing it moving forward, you're good.
Yep. And so keep taking a step back and saying what worked, what didn't work, and constantly asking yourself that, right?
Every great entrepreneur failed many times.
Oh, guaranteed, right? And I tell people this all the time. It's never too late to start, right?
Yep.
You look at, and everybody always says that, right? But like you look at Colonel Sanders, right? He was 65 or something door knocking. You look at, just so many companies, and it was their last thing they did, and they made it successful really quick. So
My wife was 43 when she started her business,
yeah, right. I mean,
and I would say it's pretty successful.
yeah. So and excuse me, took everything
That was
out
a
of
good
me.
one. Bless you.
Yeah. Right. So find find so you found mentors, it sounds like through SCORE. Um, the biggest thing is start yourself and believe in yourself that it's actually going to work, right? And again, the reason I like low investment things because if it doesn't work out, you're out nothing but a little bit of time and very little money, right?
Yep.
That's why I started my t-shirt company. I'm a magician as well, right? I started out with a deck of cards, which cost me $1. Some sponge balls, which I think did cost me like $5. A couple other little tricks, but I was $12 all invested in this. And I did my first show for $125, right? Yes, it took my time to get really good at what I do. Um, you know what? For a while, I had an outfit that I performed in. I still do when I go out, but um, I bought that for cheap, right? Um, so again, I was in the positive on my first show right away, right? I don't have $1 million invested. Now with my daughter trying to get into magic, I mean, we're definitely in the red because I stopped doing shows and I bought a shit ton more magic. But
Right.
I say the fastest I can get into the black, the better. Um, and if I can come up with ideas that are going to give me longevity of where I want to be in the future, right? I know that Nick Watkins LLC can expand into more houses, right? And I have the choice if I want to go to Indiana. I'm just like you. I don't want to go anywhere outside of my 30-minute range, right?
Because you want to have hands-on.
Exactly. But and so you're gonna find things, but hopefully by that time you have somebody who's bought, you know, uh Pizza Huts or things like that own in different states that do different things, right? You're going to find, you want to get to the point where you meet the 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 CEO of Sears, you know what Sears because that's a horrible fucking example.
They
They're
don't really
bankrupt,
exist anymore.
right? A Panera Bread, right? To expand, the people that are all, the big name brands that are in every state, somebody has the knowledge of how the fuck they got into other states, right? How do I expand my business into another state? Area to the next thing, right?
Well, and when you start joining associations like your small business administrations and
Mhm.
your local chamber of commerce, you make a lot of those inroads into how these people did this, and they're usually willing to help
Oh gosh, yes.
because they're passionate about what they do. And when you find somebody that's passionate about what they do, they love to fucking talk about it.
Yep.
So you and I are a great example. We're very passionate about money. We love talking about money and making businesses and investing because that just gets our juices going.
Yep.
That's why we've been able to do this for 5 years because this is not work to us. This is just having a good time. shooting the shit with each other, drinking some beer.
Right. So, always you're welcome to reach out to either of the two of us to ask questions. We will gladly
Oh,
give you information
Karen,
and
that's gonna.
answers.
You guys have been fucking awesome. So,
Yeah. Um, I say we can't, I can't guarantee I have every answer, right? I can only give you as much guidance as I possibly can.
I mean, we've done some good things on here. We've helped a couple people buy their first houses.
Oh God, yes.
We've helped a couple people
Get
lower
out of
their debt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
We've
right,
helped some people invest.
yep.
Oh,
Well,
I have some updates too. We'll get to updates in a few.
yeah. So, no, I mean it's figure out yourself and where you want to be, man. I think you have the entrepreneurial spirit. You just need the focus the focus of what to do and how to do it, right? And the first thing is to start. But scale it back into small goals, right? If I were to walk you through a t-shirt company, I would never tell you to go buy. You don't need 1,000 smalls on hand, right? Because
Right.
the chances are of you finding 1,000 people who wear smalls, you know, um, it's going to be impossible. If they're all black shirts, right, you could probably get rid of those to some company for 50 cents on the dollar or whatever, right? I mean, you could recoup something, but
Especially
um,
once tariffs go up.
well, I say like I know back in the day, I don't know what you bought your shirts at, right? But I think I was buying white shirts for less than $2, and now I think the cheapest one I could probably find is $4 or 350, whatever it might be, wholesale wise, right? So
Nick, I got a shit ton of 4X and 5X black Bella canvases if you're ever interested.
see,
So,
right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I say, I, you know, I'm all about this, right? And so I think even if even if you were to go get a Cricut right now, I wouldn't be mad at you for restarting your t-shirt thing. Go get a Cricut. Dollar store has fucking heat transfer vinyl. You pick out one color and somebody's gonna say, "Hey, so you're 200 bucks into a Cricut. You make a custom shirt that just says, 20 bucks. I'm not gay, but 20 bucks is 20 bucks, right? I sold more of those shirts. Even though people could buy them in the store, I still sold them because somebody wanted a different fucking color, right? I want a green shirt with pink writing that says I'm not gay with 20 bucks. Great, I can do that, right? My shirt cost me $4. My vinyl cost me $1. I'm selling it for 20. I'm making 15 bucks.
What's the best present my wife ever gave you?
Beer. Uh, this room. Go on. Oh yeah, this. Let's say
This fucking cup.
yeah,
Because it has our face on
it
it.
does.
How excited were you when you came in and that fucking existed?
That was awesome. Like that was a great day. Like we love getting new Bucks and Brews stuff, and like this was like we have our own cups.
We have our own cups that we drink out, and they're the only two that exist.
Yep. And it's like no more can be made. So,
I mean, they could be.
right. We're not going to.
Right, because they're ours.
Don't get me
Well,
wrong. Somebody
well,
want
I got a question for you guys. What about
Shoot.
a t-shirt? 'Cause I want one of those fuckers.
a t-shirt?
What size you
One of
wear?
y'all's t-shirts.
Yeah. What size do you wear?
4X.
I got it.
All right. So we can.
Then
We'll
I'll
fig-
send you. Hey, and I want you guys' address too, because I want to send you guys some of these fucking. I need to lighten my load out of my storage locker. So
Absolutely. So
Did
well,
you ever send the merch out to the David guy in Tennessee and the dude in fucking Hawaii?
I believe so.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Just an envelope. Yeah.
I have a question for Nick. Nick, are there any questions you have for us that we haven't answered?
I was honestly like you guys said. You know what I mean? Just very skeptical about the whole thing. I think it went perfectly. You know what I mean? Every question I could, I pitched you guys my ideas. You guys had some great, advice to come back to me. Got a lot to ingest, So it's I think this has been a fucking amazing experience.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because that's
This
what
has
we're
been an
always looking
amazing
for.
experience. You know what I mean? I came into this completely blind. I didn't know what the hell to think, and then I had listened to a couple of you guys' previous podcasts. I didn't know what to think. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? This is me getting myself out there, busting my fucking self out of the shell that I've been in for fucking 40 years,
Yeah, well, let's say, and just know, like, right? Because the other thing is just know that TikTok works, right? You're in Maine and I'm in Michigan.
Yeah.
And I randomly hit it up. And trust me, when I found you, I think you had 3 likes on a video or something, right? So it just
Right.
randomly popped up. And so, when you make a video that says how great we are, we're going to duet that motherfucker. And
Hell yeah, we are.
we're going to be in
Well,
our
that's,
gear.
that's tomorrow's episode right there. So
So there you go.
So there are a few things I need to hit you with.
Yeah,
So you remember the Starfish Perks episode we did?
I absolutely do remember that.
So I reached out to my former boss Sabrina yesterday for things we'll talk about off air.
Yep.
And I asked her how she was doing, and I kind of knew that her and her husband were over
Oh,
because her and I are friends on Facebook, and I've seen her hanging out with a younger guy.
oh no, it's not me.
It's not you. She's not old enough for you.
Oh, she is.
She's not. You like them in their 80s. I mean, you want to.
She's
the
like 50,
queen.
right?
In her early 50s.
See, exactly. That's not
It's
bad.
not old enough for you.
Oh,
Anyways.
to say, I'm a grandma digger.
I asked her, I'm like, she's like, yeah, I'm so happy. I'm like, so the starfish thing, you still doing that? And she's like, no, I left that all to Jason. I don't have time for that. And I didn't want to come back and say that's because it was fucking crazy.
No, you can't.
We were very nice.
Yeah.
That was our most watched episode on YouTube this year. I just got that email. It was our most watched episode. I still don't know why. So I sent this message to a group of Bucks and Brews contributors this morning. Hey, because I was putzing around on my 3D site, and I'm like, oh, what can I find if I just type in beer? And I saw this really awesome trophy. And I'm like, ooh, I could make a trophy. What can we do with a trophy? So I sent it out to you and the eye candy and the professor and his brother and Jim. And I'm like, hey, what do you guys think about, like, in the first of the year, we all pick a stock. And after 3 months, whichever stock, goes up the highest percent mark gets this trophy for 3 months. And then we do it all over again, or maybe we switch it up. We figure something out. And everybody was like, oh my God, that sounds fucking awesome.
Yep.
So then I started pitching it to some other people. Like I sent it to Ummer, and Ummer's like, oh, I'd totally be in. And I sent it to Caitlin, and she's like, oh, I might like to try to do that. Because again, she wants to know more about investing.
Yeah.
You sent it to Jeremiah. Shout out to Jeremiah.
Yep.
And he was in. So I think we're going to do this. I hope in the next couple weeks I will have a trophy to show off on the podcast here, and then we'll figure out right at the first of the year how we're going to set all that up. That's really exciting.
Yep.
We did our healthcare episode, which just went up on Monday, about Brian Thompson getting shot down in Manhattan. I've heard more about that than the school shooting yesterday.
Yeah, it was rough.
Isn't that fucking sick?
That was rough.
I think we have more to talk about coming up on the healthcare situation, because I've found so many things since.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a part 2 to that coming down the line. We're going to be back Monday live with people that are developing a website.
Yeah.
And then I think, when do you get back from vacation?
Probably the 6th.
So we'll try to find some time right at the first of the year there to do year in review.
Yep.
Because we have not done that yet. Unless we have time to do that after the episode on Monday.
Yeah.
Maybe. What do you got for people? That's a whole lot of information I just fed in like a minute and a half.
Yeah, no, I say we're still working on the sponsor. I mean, they've told us they're going to do it. We're just waiting for their end of the bargain, and we'll get our end out. And I'm excited to have our first official sponsor.
Yeah, I can't wait to do a commercial.
So, as always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family.
Tell me about your beer there, my friend.
David, thanks for the Garage Beer Classic Light Small Batch Brewed Light Beer, 4% alcohol by volume. There's still 4 grams of carbs on this one, but 3 on the other.
I really like that beer. I really enjoyed from Urban Artifact these Cappy Snacks.
I actually enjoyed that fruit punch.
The fruit punch one was good, but I thought the Cincinnati Black Raspberry was better.
The raspberry was like, it had so much raspberry.
I really enjoyed it. Nick, tell us again what you drank.
It's Tubular out of the Orono Brewing Company in Orono, Maine.
We'll have to definitely look into that, because you and I are always about finding out about new breweries that we don't know about. So you had everybody would like, subscribe, share, right?
I did, yeah.
All right, so Nick, don't run away. We're going to talk to you off the air for a minute here. Everybody, thanks for joining us. This episode will go up right before the holidays, so happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all that good shit.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Absolutely. This should hit next Monday morning, as long as I get everything cut up in time. Thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you guys again real soon.
You've dialed called in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these
because
stuff.
they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money, bucks,
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
brews.
and brews.
brews.
Bucks and brews.